This sign, of course, was made at Lake Shrine by Brahmachari Klaus. Brahmachari Klaus is from Germany, and he was trained as a carpenter. And this is interesting because he made this on a, I think they call it a CDX machine that carves everything out. It's all computerized. And they have such an advanced model, it changes its own routers and bits by itself. And so that's how this carving was made. And that's why it'd be hard to get it made anywhere else, because of the script and the logos that are specific to SRF. What's interesting about Brahmachari Klaus is that he said he decided to become a carpenter at the age of 18 instead of a lawyer. And in the German system, usually you make that decision, or it's made for you at the age of 14. So he had 3 years of internship. He had 4 years of, what do they call it, when you work under a master?
Apprenticeship?
Apprenticeship. And then 2 years training as a master. 9 years training.
Wow.
Carpenter. That's the German system in the trades.
Really?
You
9
have a
years.
lot of training. And he also did all the mill work, or the lumber, when they remodeled Lake Shrine's, the Windmill Chapel. So anyway, he made this. It's two-sided. And then I drove it from Los Angeles to Albuquerque. And we didn't really want to ship it. He made a sign earlier for the Seattle group, and it's a one-sided sign, much bigger. He made a box for the wooden box. They shipped it with UPS, and the wooden box got pierced, and the one side was damaged. But luckily, it was the back side, not the front side. So anyway, this has a lot of loving care in it. He's also made 2 6-foot posts that go along with it, and then he's routed out grooves in them. Those have been painted already. I painted them, but both sides of the sign and the post require 3 coats of primary paint and 3 coats of top paint, or finished paint. But as you see on the sign, it's a little more complex because there's 3 colors. And then the raised letters, only the top is gold, so the sides have to be painted in the blue. And I didn't have a sprayer for that, so I did that by hand, and still it needs some touch up. And then,
where's the third color?
Well, this is an off-white, the cream. And actually, Brahmachari Klaus recommended that. They said it looks a little better than a pure white. So the post also had that cream color. And then blue in the insert. And later he will make some finials for the top of the post. He's making them from scratch. And I thought it'd be out of a solid block of wood, but he's making them layer by layer by layer.
Wow.
And then putting it together. So at Lake Shrine, they have a very good shop, and they have a special room just for this carving machine, you might say, that's all computerized, and you know, you have to set up the program, the design, everything in the computer, and then the machine cuts it out. But it still takes the machine, I think, what did he say? I'm not quite right, but maybe like 12 hours to cut one side. So it's a very detailed process. And that's how they make all the signs at Lake Shrine and the main temples out there too. So awesome. It's an amazing process.
Great.
So,
so what were you just working on now, before we got here?
now I'm trying to put, this is the 4th coat of gold. It will take from 5 to 7 coats because you have to put it on very thin. This gold paint is very special. The gold is really a mica. We had to order it from a specialty company. In fact, it wasn't even on their main menu. And it cost $50 for a quart.
Really?
Yeah. But it doesn't perform like a regular paint. You have to stir it often because the mica is suspended. And then so you stir it often, and then you use this roller. I'll show you the technique. Let me stir this up a little bit. This is a technique they showed to me, and they've worked out. One of their permanent staff at Lake Shrine, maintenance staff, kind of developed this technique. So you take this roller, and then you have to get on just the right amount, not too much, not too little, and you only load up the middle part, and then you have to go over like that. And when I first did it, I was putting it on a little too heavy, so it ran a little bit down the sides, but
right.
I can touch that up with blue. But you just kind of have to learn how to do it. And when it goes on at first, it looks real bubbly, and you think, oh, that's not nice, and you want to work it out, but you don't do that. You just let it lay down. But you got to do each one individually. And it gets a little tricky sometimes. And that's why you just lay a little bit down at a time. That's why you have to put many layers on it.